Hey, welcome back to I Allegedly. I am Dan, and I've got a good one for you today because you're leaving money on the table. Here's a list and a group of small business grants and personal assistance programs that you can get that can help you pay your bills, start a business, a little bit of everything. Please like this video, please subscribe to the channel, but let's get right into it. The advantage to a grant, first of all, is that grants help you get money for your business or for your startup that you don't have to pay back. And these are different programs that vary in size. These are for municipalities, large companies, cities, everybody. Okay, there's so many people. Businesses do this, rich people do this, and give out grants. Now, what you need to do is you need to have a program within your organization, even if it's you, if it's an organization of one, you need to be able to sit down and describe concisely what you do, what you plan on doing with this money, and what the company does to date. Now, you may be losing money. You may not be selling nearly as much as you should. That's not the point of these grants. These grants are to give you a leg up. Some give you inventory help to buy product. Some give you help with rent. Some people are manufacturing things and can't pay the electric bill. Some give you those programs. So you need to get yourself ready for this, but I just wanted to give you a few of these programs that are out there right now, and we'll talk about this. First one, Verizon Small Business Digital Ready Grant. You get $10,000 in grants, and the 50 people are awarded this program, and that gets awarded on December 10th. So take a look at that, guys. I'll leave links below. Startup, Pivot, and Grow. There is something called a micro grant, basically under $5,000. Now, think about this. You can sit there and go, Dan, is it really worth me pulling out paperwork? Now, I've had people write me and say, am I really going to give them personal information about my business and phone number, the address, what we do for $2,500? Yeah, you are. You should do this because these programs are out there to help you, to have you get a leg up on everything. And Start, Pivot, and Grow. Small Business Innovation Research, SBIR. These grants are technology grants. If you think you're designing something that's a big deal, you can get these grants. You need to learn to search. You need to find out where the nearest SBIR office is. They're usually right next to the SBA office or within a mile or two. That's what my experience has always been. Small Business Administration is designed to help us. I have my problems with these people because I think that they don't work like you and I do all the time. They work from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. So you need to find out when people are in the office. You need to ask questions about what they're going, what funding opportunities. Now, a lot of these places are going to want you like the SBA. Well, let me introduce you to the lenders. Don't borrow money until you have to. That's that simple. Don't borrow money to put out fires. That's insane because the fires are still going to be smoldering if you do that. Small Business Technology Transfer Program. And again, another similar to the SBIR, these programs funds collaborating in research institutions. Now, if you are a scientist or you are in that background of medical, or I have a patch that would distribute, some type of help for somebody, that's who you talk to for somebody like that. And again, there are federal and state grants via grants.com. Please listen to me. Do not pay for any of these programs. Not $1. Don't do it. Go out, research this. Oh, we have a grant writing program. You do not need that. I know a woman that was going to get $80,000 and paid her grant writing program $60,000 to get 80. And I just thought, what a fool. What an absolute fool. So you can do this. Now, if you run a nonprofit, if you are just starting a company, there are programs for that. You start within the city that you live in. Oh, Dan, I live in Duluth. There's nothing there. You start within the city that you live in and search small business opportunities, small business grants. And a lot of these places like FedEx gives, they own Kinko's now. So they'll give things like $2,500 in printing and $2,500 in help with Kinko's. all the faxing, all the technology that you can get from them, that's a big deal, guys. I would have months when I've spent $3 grand on printing stuff at Kinko's, FedEx. So things like that. The county that you live in, look at that. Look at the industry that you're in. Here is the thing. I get a tremendous amount of news from industry magazines. And you can sit there and say, this is, Dan, why would you read, a trucking magazine? Why would you read a magazine about, roaches and cleanup, plumbing, things like that? I do it all, guys. I do it all, and they're great. Car magazines, car finance magazines, these are great resources, but you know what you want to do. You know if it's something automotive, you know what you're going to do. But look at this. If you have an existing entity and you are struggling, that's okay. It's not that that's going to be the kiss of death for you, but you need to understand that export and trade grants, do you need to ship things in or out of the country? Industry specific niche grants. Many grants target specific industries, like I just said. And this is something that you need to understand what your industry has. Because I have told so many people, what roofing, organizations do you have? Oh, Dan, they're so expensive. Well, you know what they have? My favorite thing is they have email lists that you can get on, and they can send you the top 10 stories of the week. Things like that will get you in tune with the industry. Do that. That's what I do. And you know what? Those are free, guys. So private and corporate grants, Intuit, LegalZoom, other private organizations. We talked about the state and local grants, grants for technology assistance. You know what you need money for. If you are putting out fires, you can still get grant programs to help you. You can get grant programs for rent, grant programs for inventory, grant programs for technology. You need to get better internet for your business. You need to live stream. There are programs for that around the country. They're aggregators, because they're offering so many different grants. Like I said, U.S. Chamber of Commerce, LegalZoom, all these places have different programs for you to get assistance from. Look at that. I love stuff like this. It's just great. So the next thing is that I want to talk to you about personal grants for people that are trying to get help paying their bills. There are so many different things. And, we learned that there's 42.7 million people on assistance. And right now, I want you to understand that there are personal things that you can get. Look at these names. First of all, if you pick up your phone and you dial 211, you can get help. 211.org is the first one. They will answer questions for you. And I had one guy write me the last time I did this video, a video with grants, and says, I called him. I said, what do you got in my area? Well, they got nothing for you, Ted. Okay. And I told him, I said, are you that rude to them? Wow. Okay, I wouldn't help you either. So anyways, the point is, explain your situation. I'm having a difficult time, like so many people are. Don't be ashamed of this. This is tied to different organizations that you've heard of, and 211.org or 211.com on your cell phone. Lifeline, a program for phone bills and broadband support. This can help you get federal programs too, where you can get reduced internet and reduced cell phone prices because of your financial situation. Why not? Why wouldn't you ask for that? No, I don't know what you pay for your cell phone. Nobody does. Nobody cares what you pay for your cell phone. They just want to be able to text you and have Gladys answer. So, affordable technology. This is while funding lasts. It gives you $30 a month towards internet, up to $75 if you live on tribal land. Low income home energy assistance. Now, as we get to winter, it's going to be the worst winter ever. I'm doing a great video on the main channel for this about how bad it's going to be this winter because it's going to be cold. And, energy prices are going through the roof right now. Plus all the data centers. It's like, hey, if you knew you were going to pay $15 more a month on your electric bill for the data centers, would that infuriate you? It infuriates me hearing that. So LIHEAP, Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program. Just look it up. Healthcare marketplace, Medicaid, CHIP. Again, I'm not a Medicaid age, Dan. Call them for programs. What do you need money for? You know, I have a sick relative right now. I have an uncle that just passed away literally last night, and thank God he had medical care at the end. So, you know, Salvation Armies, the Catholic Charities, St. Vincent de Paul, all these different places. Your church, is your church of help, or are they just talking? Seriously. And you know, it's funny. In Las Vegas, a woman said, "Oh, we rely so much on the church. It's so great, and I love that you recommend things like that, and you don't push it." Well, as long as they're helpful for you, ma'am, that's what's important. Because there are a lot of people that want to talk a good game, but they don't want to do what it takes to move things forward and give people assistance. When you hear people like Fran Glover that runs Joseph Dream House, and they have hundreds and hundreds of more people a month looking for assistance, you're not alone, guys. You're just not alone. So the United Way is tied to 211 that I was mentioning earlier. So prescription drug assistance. This is if you can't afford to pay your copays. There's places like GoodRx, Needy Meds, RX Outreach. Again, oh, you don't have that? What do you have? What is similar to GoodRx in my city? Ask those questions. Those questions can make a huge difference. Community action agencies, you know, here in Orange County, we have a ton of that stuff because you have wealthier cities, and then you can go to Santa Ana, parts of Garden Grove that are not as desirable and have more people on assistance programs there. You know, state rental assistance. There's a ton of different state rental assistance programs out there that can help you. But again, you've got to say the hard thing. You've got to say that you're hurting. You've got to say that you lost your job or you're in a difficult position. And they will do what they can to help you. You know, COVID made everybody in a bad position. So it was like, oh, we're just throwing money at people. Now you have to answer the questions. And again, you're on a telephone. No one's going to know who you are. Your relatives. I will leave links below to these different programs and suggestions, but share this. You know, remember, utility help, we can help you with that. Phone help, healthcare help, rent help, internet help, prescription help. It's all there. It's all there. The grants are one thing. During COVID, I had a woman that got over $300,000 with the grants from my channel. It was amazing. It really was. And she had to pay none of it back. I had people that wanted to get low income loans, and they got those loans. And we helped them put together their loan packages so that they could borrow the money. Now, again, I don't recommend anybody borrow $1, because if you could get free help that you don't have to pay back, isn't that better? It just is. And the problem with it is that people go to family and friends and things like that when they're hurting, and sometimes that can put strain on relationships. And as the holidays roll around, we can learn when you have strains and things like that. So please, 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 please think of a plan, search, you know, how to write a grant. What's needed generally for a grant? It's your business name, it's your tax ID number, bank account information, what you do, explain it. And I'm going to say this the same thing I've done to my investor video, and that is, if my mother was here or your grandmother was standing here and you had to explain what your business does, how could you do it in 3 sentences that would be clear, concise, and exactly what you do? Oh, we make the best tacos in the world, Dan, and they're unlike anybody else's. No, it's not what you do. Okay? So explain it clear and concise. I hope this was helpful. Look at these programs. And remember, be kind to everybody. A lot of people are hurting right now. And as we have all these different challenges right now, we have to work together right now. We just have to work together and be kind to people. The SNAP programs are making everybody reapply. And you can say that that is demonic and it's horrible and it's terrible. No, what it's going to do is it's going to free up good money for the people that are grifters, that are taking advantage of it. Do you know that there are 500,000 people out of those 42 million people that have dual accounts? Okay, well, just double dip it. Isn't that terrible? Come on, it's awful to think about. You want to get a hold of me, it's hello@iallegedly.com. Start with the city, start with the county, start with the state, then go national, go with your industry, go with what you want to do. But again, you're a small business. You know what they say of small businesses? Under $36 million in sales. I've never done $36 million in sales, so I guess I've always run a small business. Okay? I hope this was helpful. Onward and upward. Good luck to everybody.